T, and I'm back with another video. But before we get started, let me apologize for the late upload this week. I had an allergic reaction, not to make an excuse, but I had an allergic reaction to a face mask, so I was not trying to get on a video and put more products on my face. I just needed to give it time to breathe, and I felt like it was okay since we gave y'all 2 videos last week. So, but from now on, I'm gonna be back on my game. Gotta be careful what products I use on my face because I have sensitive skin. But yeah, I just wanted to film like my everyday, well, not every day, my foundation routine. Every time I want a full beat, this is what I do. It's really quick and easy. All the products you can get at the drugstore, so it's great for your pockets if you're trying to build up your makeup game. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. I hope you guys had a great Valentine's Day. I know I did. Me and Nisha went out to eat just because we wanted to get cute on Valentine's Day, and then I went out on a date Friday. I went to see Black Panther and went out to eat. So yeah, if you haven't seen Black Panther, you need to go see it. Like, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. I just sprayed my face with some Badescu. The first step is priming your face. I haven't found a primer personally that I absolutely love, especially that's in the drugstore. So I normally just spray this, and this is only $5 at Ulta. So but really all you need is like clean and moisturize base. So I've already washed my face and moisturized, so if you don't have a primer, at least start off with that and then you should be fine. But I'm going in with Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 Foundation Concealer. This is my favorite foundation in the drugstore, just because it matches my skin to the T. Only thing is, the only setback with Milani is that they don't have a lot of shades. Like, I don't know, like they have some shades, but I'm the second to last shade, and obviously there's girls darker than me, so they need like more than one shade to choose from. So they can definitely add some more shades. And I understand this drugstore, like, they're not gonna have 30 shades, but they can definitely add more shades. But some other alternatives, just in case if you don't find a shade that works for you. I love the Revlon Color Stay. As you can see, it's almost out. The L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. They have it in Pro Glow and Pro Matte if you have oily skin. But I love this, and also the Maybelline Fit Me is really good as well. They have some good shades. Only thing with those, they're kind of orangey, but they settle into the skin really well. Like, especially after you add concealer and powder, it'll match. So, but yeah, like I said, I just really like this one because this is a foundation that just matches it perfectly. And I'm going in with a beauty sponge. This one is from Lily Lashes. They have a really good one. I have Beauty Blender as well and Real Technique sponge, so whatever you have works. But this one is so convenient because I literally apply my foundation, concealer, and powder with this. So you can definitely save your coins by just getting one beauty sponge and without worrying about getting, you know, brushes and stuff. But if you love like super full coverage, like, you can get a full coverage look with the beauty sponge, but brushes are really good for like distributing the product without taking away from it, so you'll get more coverage using a brush. But I just love the finish and how fast a beauty blender just blends on the skin. So okay, now that I got that on, we're gonna go to concealer, and I'm going in with LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee. And I also go in with my NYX HD Studio Photogenic Concealer in the shade 8. This one is darker and it fits my skin tone. I just like to put this at the bottom for it to blend into my skin better, because this is like literally a shade, if that, lighter than my skin. And then the Toffee one is like probably 2 shades lighter, so I like for it to just blend in seamlessly. And of course, I'm going in with a beauty sponge. And I like to let my under eye sit for a little bit, like not dry all the way down, but kinda, just so it won't move around as much and it won't look blotchy. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows. Going back in with my LA Girl concealer, I'm just gonna apply that directly under my brow to clean it up. With a lot of concealer under my brow because I feel like it's pointless. So alright, so I'm not worried about blending it all the way out because I am going to apply concealer on my lids. So now I'm going to go back in with my blender. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but I did clean it and it is damp, so that's another key to having really nice looking foundation. When using a beauty sponge, you gotta make sure it is clean and damp. So I like to start off with the bottom edges so it can blend into the foundation, and then I work my way up because I apply more product, especially like lighter concealer, directly under my eye, and I don't want to like start at the top and pick up a lot of product and then blend it down, because then that's just more to blend out. So yeah, and I like to take it on my lid because I do use concealer as my eyeshadow base. Even though I'm not doing a shadow today, I always do this because it just wakes your eyes up. So see, just blend it out like that. I might apply a little bit more. I think it's good. I don't like to apply too much product to my under eye because I do have fine lines directly under my eye, which means I tend to crease a lot. So the more product, the more you're going to crease, the more noticeable it is. So I try not to add it directly under my eye because I don't want too much product under there. So I think this is good. Like if it's nighttime and I want more dramatic, like a more dramatic look, I might go with more concealer. So for the sake of the video, I'm gonna add a tad bit more, just right here, just to blend it out some more and just brighten it up. But for a typically like my everyday look, that right there would have been good enough. But yeah, I'm just blending it, and honestly, like every now and then I might use a brush for my foundation, but I can never use a brush for my concealer. Like it just comes out so blotchy. Like that's why I use that trick to just let the concealer sit under my eye and dry down so it won't move around as much. But even then, like the beauty blender is just undefeated when it comes to blending out under eye concealer. Like it just does it so flawlessly and effortlessly. So if you're trying to get your brush game up, don't worry about getting one for concealer. Just get you a beauty blender or a Real Technique sponge or something, because yeah. Alright, so next is setting my under eye. That's the first thing that you want to set immediately after doing, because you don't want it to start to crease. So I use the Airspun translucent powder. I don't want to tilt it because I don't want a lot coming out. And also the Makeup Revolution powder in terracotta. I started off using this alone, but I feel like I'm gonna have to wait till the summer because the color is so intense. So I like to mix the two. So I literally just pour this directly into the Airspun and mix it around. Yeah, these powders are really good. Pretty much everything I use in this tutorial is $10 and under, like $10 and under. So very affordable, college girl friendly. So before I apply this powder, I want to make sure I blend this out before it starts creasing again. And I'm going to look crazy, but I literally hold my face down because I do not want my fine lines to settle in like that. So I keep it like this, and then I go directly in with the powder and tap it under my eye. And also I've noticed when applying powder with a beauty blender, it's really good that it's damp. It just works the powder in really good. Because I don't bake since I have dry skin. I try not to bake. Sometimes I do, depending on like if I'm doing some serious eyeshadow or something like that. But for the most part, I do not bake because I don't like that dry under eye look. But at the same time, I want my under eye set. So I just keep it on for a hot second and then dust it right off. But if you have oily skin, then it's really good that you not only prime like with the mattifying primer, use a mattifying moisturizer, but also to bake, because it'll soak up all those oils and make sure that your makeup lasts all day. So I really don't have much to dust off, but just gonna go ahead and go in. Normally with this step, I'll take another powder, like that's the color of my skin. I forgot to set my actual lids, but I used to use the CoverGirl one, but the powder I use now is Smashbox, but that's obviously not drugstore friendly. And honestly, on an everyday basis, if I'm not wearing makeup for long hours, I'm not going to use another powder to cover the rest of my face, just because I have dry skin, so my makeup really isn't going to move other areas of my face. So literally, I just keep it on for a hot second and dust it right off. So now we're going to go ahead and apply bronzer. I'm going to go in with my CoverGirl bronzer in Ebony Bronze. I always forget the name of this for some reason. And And I like to go in with a big fluffy brush just because I don't like to contour since I have a slender face. And I don't want that whole snatch look like that. But at the same time, I like adding dimension back into my face after applying foundation and highlighting with concealer. So I just like the soft effect that the brush gives it versus the angled brush I used to use. This one gives it more of a contour effect. But lately I've just been liking this softer bronzy look. So now I'm gonna go ahead and set my face. I use the, where is it? NYX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. You can get this at the drugstore or Ulta, wherever. And I like to take the end of my Real Technique sponge. It's so big because this is the body sponge. I really like it. Nisha put me onto it. It blends out your makeup in 3 seconds. But lately I've just been using this sponge a lot. I don't know why. But I take the flat end of it. I spray it with some and then go directly over my makeup. And I like doing this better than spraying directly to my face because I am wearing my hair straight and most setting sprays are water based, so I ain't got time for the frizziness. So, and plus it gives you more control when you apply it to this. You won't waste any unnecessary spray. So yeah, but we are not done just yet. We gotta apply some highlighter. I don't own any drugstore highlighters. I mean, I have this. It's NYX. It's called Bright Idea. It's a cream based highlighter. I might go ahead and apply that and then go on with some shadow. This shadow is in drugstore, but y'all know how Ulta split down the middle, like it got the cheap side and the expensive side. They have Morphe now in Ulta. This palette has like a ton of shades and it's only $23, so I feel like it's drugstore friendly. So a lot of times I use shadows. Like if I don't use my Fenty Kilowatt highlighter, I'm using an eyeshadow for highlight. So but another good cheap highlighter you can do is the Carly Bible palette. It's like an eyeshadow and highlighter palette, but my mom took it from me, so. And they have that at Ulta. I haven't seen it at Ulta in a minute, but I know that works really good. Like that stuff there is thebomb.com. So that's the only thing. I feel like I'm trying to give y'all options. This is good for this summer for like no makeup looks, but I feel like it's just an extra step because I'm going to go right over it with a powder highlighter. I had to keep applying some over because I started to take some of the makeup off of that wet beauty blender. So yeah, but yeah, I don't really fool around with this stuff like that unless I'm doing a like no makeup look. So if you guys want something like that, let me know because mine is pretty simple. But yeah, it's not blended out all the way, but I'm about to apply highlighter on top anyway, so you won't really notice it. So I think I'm gonna go in with this shade right here in the corner. It's just like a nice bronzy golden color. So I'm not a matte type of girl. I like a dewy finish. So even sometimes if I use a matte foundation, my skin still looks dewy because I go ham with the setting spray and I love highlighting. And this brush is really great for highlighting. You can get it at Ulta for $8. It's the Morphe M510 brush. It's all fuzzy because I washed it and it dried kind of crazy, but it's still doing its thug dizzle. Alright, so now I'm just going in with the same bronzing brush, kind of just going over, making sure I don't have any harsh lines. And then I'm going back in with this sponge, add a little bit more, and just set those areas so the highlighter can just settle into the skin and not look glittery. So yeah. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and apply some lashes and I'll be back.